Hi everyone, welcome to our discussion panel today. My name is Kalita and I'm a current Lakeshore Technical College student in the Health Information Management program. Last year, I was also named as the 2020 Wisconsin Technical College System Ambassador representing Lakeshore. Today, I'll be the moderator for this discussion. So with me, we have three additional Lakeshore students who will be sharing their recent experiences as college students this fall semester. Jordyn, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordyn Wright, and I am a student at LTC in the paralegal program. I am currently the Student Leadership Board Vice President for Lakeshore and a TRIO ambassador as well. I'm a single parent with a school-age daughter, and I work multiple jobs and rely on additional scholarships and financial aid to be able to continue my educational journey. Right now, my program is completely online, which, for example, this week I'm on vacation in North Carolina, and I've had classes all week as well as school calls. So virtual schooling has really allowed me to earn my degree while on the go.
Well, hopefully you're getting some sun out there. Thanks, Jordyn. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt Nitsch. I am in the IT networking program at LTC. I'm the Student Leadership Board President. I do a lot of volunteering around. I'm involved in several organizations here at LTC. I do volunteering work at my church, and right now for all of my classes, they're all virtual, which definitely is something I've never done before. I am normally an in-person kind of guy. Haven't had the best experience with online, but obviously I had to adapt, and fortunately I've done so pretty well. I have to say that considering all the circumstances that we're going through, things are running pretty smoothly with all my classes, and I'm just really happy about all that.
So I have to say I completely agree with you. I'm also an in-person kind of person, and so I have chosen to continue taking all of my classes on the campus in the classroom setting because that is something that LTC continued to offer was in-person courses as well as the virtual. So thanks, Matt. Michelle, tell us about yourself.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me today. My name is Michelle Jarvie, and I am a student in the Business Management program at Lakeshore Technical College. And currently, I'm an active student in a few organizations at LTC, including our Honor Society Phi Theta Kappa, where I serve as the chapter president, and I'm also serving as an ambassador for the TRIO program as well. So I am married, and I am a mom of 3 kids, 17, 5, and 1. And my husband works full-time and provides the main financial income of our household. He is committed and has given me the opportunity to stay home to focus on college and taking care of the family. So bless him. Currently, because of the pandemic, I am taking all of my courses online and homeschooling 2 of my 3 kids. So it has been crazy fall semester so far, but the end is near for the fall semester. So that being said, I have been fortunate that my tuition has been paid for 100% by financial aid since I have started college in 2018. With that, I also work very hard to apply for many scholarships, and that has added to our financial income for our family. This extra money has been I've been able to fix things in my house, provide food on the table, and service my vehicle, and have some extra spending money to enjoy with my family.
I totally agree with you, Michelle. It is a lot to juggle. I have 3 kids at home as well who are virtual. So I'm taking 15 credits, trying to get them through their schoolwork during the day. I'm obviously not working full time because I'm in school full time. So I think we're all kind of in the same boat. I'm also in TRIO. So that is a great program. Stacy and Rivy, everyone is super helpful and supportive. So that's great that we can participate in that. So before we get started, I wanted to walk through logistics. I have 6 questions today for everyone on the panel. I'll call on you one at a time to answer each question. Once you've completed your responses, if the remaining members have anything to add, please feel free to join in at that time. So we'll be monitoring questions and comments from the audience, and at the end, if we have time, we'll go through some of them. After the panel is completed, we will respond to all of the questions on our Facebook page and post the event for viewing at anyone's convenience. So let's get started. Jordyn, was your program or course always primarily online before?
No. No. So actually, for the paralegal program, for my main, my core law classes, those are typically in-person classes. However, amid the pandemic, they did open it up, and there's quite a few students in the program that did opt to do it virtually. And actually, there's very few students for those classes that are actually taking them in person.
Did that kind of scare you at first to know that you could no longer come in person?
It did a little bit, to be honest with you, Kalita. I am a very hands-on learner, and especially after, graduating from high school 8 years ago, deciding that right now in my life, amidst everything else in the world, that I was going to go back to school. It was definitely something to kind of wrap my head around, deciding I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it primarily online. The support aspect of it was very scary, but everyone at LTC, including my instructors, school advisor, everything, have been wonderful with helping me easily transition back into school life.
Okay, I agree. Matt, you mentioned taking the challenge head on with your program, going virtual versus in person. What benefits have you been able to identify with this virtual presence?
Well, the virtual presence has been helpful because it's actually saved a lot of time. I live in Sheboygan, so it's usually about a 20-minute trip from my house to school in 20 minutes back. So that's like 40 minutes out of my day that's being saved. That's almost an hour. And, you could do a lot with an hour. And that's been super beneficial, just that alone. But along with that, it's required me to have to change how I do my studying, because the way that everything's being taught to us is being done differently, and so I'm having to adapt to it. But in doing so, I've come up with a better way of studying, and afterwards, after all this pandemic stuff is over, I'm going to be able to still use those studying techniques that I came up with. Going back to the saving the time, last year I was working part-time at a factory job, so I was having to go there and school back and forth. I was losing a lot of time doing that, and if it was virtual while I was doing that, I would have saved so much more time. My life wouldn't have been so congested, and so that's a really nice benefit for, I guess, anyone else that would have a far more compact schedule.
It is. I agree. Michelle, you mentioned taking all of your courses online while homeschooling two of the kids. Other than it being hectic, how else has that been for you? Have you had the opportunity to lean on some of the organizations or the student support services here at LTC?
Yeah, so definitely, of course. So to start with, yes, I have 2 of my 3 kids are in school, and they have been virtual the last 6 weeks, and who knows what the future is going to be bringing here, but it looks like it's probably going to be virtual for the rest of the year, or possibly to the end of the year. So keep your fingers crossed. I would rather have them in person, but due to the pandemic, I totally understand. So we're making the adjustments. But honestly, I can probably speak for other parents as well. It's been absolutely crazy. The transition has been an overload of different schedules, deadlines, and emotions. So I'm doing my best and making things work. I have to consistently remind myself that I am human and that I have 2 hands, and there is only so much time in a day. This is typically tackled with a lot of organization and determination to push through. So, but needless to say, I'm excited for fall break next week, so it's much needed in the household. But
Amen.
for the second part of the question, LTC organizations and the student support services have had a huge impact in my college experience as a student. So this has helped my family as well, more than just me. For an example, some of the LTC organizations offer workshops, conventions, and conferences, and this is to help develop great leadership and professional skills. This has helped me prepared for my future as a full-time career, and I have learned so many things that I can carry out throughout my lifetime. So for an example, LTC has a TRIO program that offers introduction and information to help students transfer to Lakeland University, which is something I am considering. Come summer, I am going to be transferring to Lakeland. So this helps students to be prepared and more comfortable and feel more comfortable of what to expect when transferring. I plan to transfer as soon as I graduate. So it's a consistent thing, and I just want to experience the whole college experience going on with my bachelor's degree as well. So I'm thankful for that. But another example of what what a student can get out of an organization is Phi Theta Kappa is the organization that I'm in, is the Honor Society, and we monthly have chapter meetings. So in these meetings, we typically reach out to students to help them in any kind of way. So like for an example, today we had our monthly meeting and we had a guest speaker that talked about mental health, considering the pandemic, what is happening overall, and it was very, very useful, a very useful tool, something that everyone could possibly use. But lastly, LTC offers many support services to help students in any kind of way. For an example, LTC offers a textbook rental for some courses that this helps save money and helps with any kind of financial burden that you might have as a student. So it's very, very helpful. But overall, LTC organizations and support services have had the same goal to reach out to students and the community to make a difference in some way. It is certain that college can be difficult at times, but LTC support services and organizations make it possible to get the best education and to make it fun as well. I consistently thank my husband and family for the support and always mention to them that I'm having the time of my life being a college student. So that's my intake on that.
I completely agree. I love how you were so open with admitting that it's an emotional ride, because I've been there, and like Jordyn said, it was a tough decision deciding to come back to school as a parent and as an adult. When I first put my kids in the daycare here, I had a breakdown, and the director talked to me. So, you know, in TRIO, I've had Stacy. You know, you have a lot of people that you can really lean on and express how you're feeling, what you're going through, and they genuinely carry you through those transitions. So I would have to agree with everything you've said. So Jordyn, you mentioned that you have school-aged kids, as a couple of us do as well. Many peers here at Lakeland or Lakeshore find themselves balancing family, work, and school. So what's your biggest fear in all of this with this whole situation?
Yeah, my biggest fear was, again, when I decided to finally, bite the bullet and go on to school after school 8 years later, my biggest fear was that I was going to let myself down, that between working a full-time job, a part-time job, being a single mom to beautiful 6-year-old girl who is heavily involved with dance and luckily, knock on wood, still going through in-person schooling. The biggest fear was, am I leaving myself enough time? How am I going to do it? And I think it's very reasonable to say when anyone, whatever it is, you're taking on something for the first time that you've never done, you have all these doubts that run through your mind, how, where, why, and things of that nature. So that was the biggest thing, was I'm going to fail. I'm going to let myself down. I'm going to put too much on my plate. I'm not going to have enough time to study. I'm technically this semester not considered a full-time student like you, Kalita. I'm considered a 3/4 time student, taking 12 credits and then being actively involved. And being actively involved with TRIO, vice president of the student leadership board. I'm thinking, what am I doing? But at the same time, having, again, kind of piggybacking off of what Michelle said, having that support behind you, family, friends, student services, instructors and things of that nature, you can do it. And the biggest takeaway from it all was, the instant gratitude that I got when it's time to sit down and pull out my laptop and my textbooks and work on class. And my daughter scoots up right next to me and, okay, mom, I'm going to work on my class too. Just really being able to set that very powerful example for her, regardless of how old you are, what you're doing. The world is shutting down as we know it with the pandemic. There's always time for you. You have to make that time for you and believe in yourself.
Yes. And don't you think it's funny that we were so nervous about coming back to school because it's been so long, we have kids, blah, 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 and yet we are actually doing more now in school than we did before. Like,
yes.
Like, okay, I applied to be the ambassador, we're in trio, we're in, the honor society, like we're doing all of these things, which is more than we even thought we could do just attending school, right? And I think a big part of that is because of the support you receive here at LTC. People.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. So when they say you get what you put into it, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was just wanting to follow up on that. Just getting all that extra activity and with organizations and getting to connect with people, getting that support from everyone has just been invaluable. I don't think I ever got as much support in high school or when I previously went to school before, and it helps so much to want to make you keep going. It's just invaluable.
Because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're accomplishing something. It's not just the goal of getting the degree and putting in the time. It's actually you're growing as an individual. We are going to leave with not an education, but an actual extended development as an individual, and that's what I really appreciate about this experience. So,
well, and to kind of just tie into that too, Kalita, I know when Matt and I, when he ran for president and I ended up moving into the vice president spot, but, neither one of us had done it. And I mean, we had chatted and things like that. And Matt's like, I'm going to help you out. And I said, I'm going to help you out. And whatever it is, we're going to get through it together. So again, just having, having that support has been amazing. And same thing with Michelle and I in trio. It's just, hey, if you have a question or, I know a few weeks ago we had a Zoom session, Michelle and I and Whitney, the other ambassador, just to really get to know each other, more background and, how can I be of help, even if it's just we're going to have one of these calls once a week. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I know I mentioned I have kids and I've been navigating this semester, basically by staying involved, talking to people, using every resource that's available here at LTC. Matt, speaking of resources, are you borrowing or using any equipment or specific online resources from LTC?
As of right now, I'm not borrowing any equipment. I'm kind of a big nerd, so I had all the equipment that I needed right away. But as for online resources, even before the pandemic, we were using online resources like TestOut and Cisco for a lot of our education, along with the supplement of the instructor's education put in there as well. But incorporating that into the pandemic with everything being done virtually, you still have that instructor you can go to be like, I really don't get this thing. It doesn't make any sense. And normally when you do these online things, it's like you don't have anyone to talk to. They're like, if you don't get it, you don't get it. Yeah. And so having the instructor to be there, and they're always like willing to talk. You just got to email them and be like, is there some time we can talk? I really don't get this one thing. They're always there to help you out. And again, with Cisco, I mean, when you get through all of that, by the time you're done with LTC, going through the whole program, you can get a legit certification. If you go for the test, I believe it's a CCNA, which is super high up there. Like, employers will respect that huge. But awesome. As for equipment, I mean, I work at the help desk at LTC, and so I'm right next to the library where they lend stuff out. If ever my laptop were to go out or something like that, and I'm like, crap, I don't know what to do, I can hop right over there and rent out a laptop quick and be like, I'm still set, I'm still good to go. And even beyond that, I didn't even know it, but they have hotspots there that you can rent out. So it's like, if you don't have all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, so if you don't have internet, since everything's internet based now, you just get one of those hotspots, you can connect that, and you're still good to go. And I thought that was just amazing because I've been hearing about how, families, with the pandemic going down, the lockdown and everything, it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to keep paying for internet. And so you don't have internet, but you have kids, they can't do
Mm-hmm.
school. It's a huge mess. So having a school that provides a way for you to still have access to just the internet, that's incredible. That's just awesome.
Actually, you just gave me a good idea because last week my internet went down because we were all on it at the same time during school.
Yeah.
So three little kids, myself, and if I had a hotspot, that wouldn't have happened. So I
Yeah,
might
yeah.
as well grab one for myself.
Yeah, I actually had
Yeah.
that experience where because my daughter's Chromebook doesn't run off of my Wi-Fi for some reason, and we have really good Wi-Fi,
Uh-huh.
and so we use the hotspot. I actually rented it from LTC,
Yeah,
so
I'll have
it's
to do
been
that.
a lifesaver for that. But in addition to that, like we use our hotspot to go camping. How cool is it to go
Just
camping in
don't
an
lose
RV
it.
and bring
Just
the
You can
really,
still
hotspot
do
yeah.
with
your
you
homework.
and
Yeah.
you can still do homework. It's
Yeah.
kind of
You're
funny
doing
because I'll
homework.
tell people, I'll be like, well, I'm going to leave for about 2 hours, just leave me do what I got to do because I got to go do homework. And they're all like,
That's
what? And
awesome.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
Um, so Jordan, are you using any equipment or no?
Not using any equipment from LTC, but as far as online resources, tutor.com for the writing class that I'm in, that's been exceptionally helpful, in addition to my instructor for gaining feedback and getting stronger in my writing. But that's really about it.
Yeah, but it's helpful, right?
It is
So,
extremely helpful.
exactly. Michelle, if you could say one thing to a person who's considering attending LTC but holding off due to the pandemic, what do you think it would be?
Oh, this is so cool. So, the one thing I would say is stop considering it and make it happen. Reach out
Yes.
to an LTC advisor and find your path.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I was nervous at my first official meeting with an advisor because I was so uncertain on so many things, even about the
Mm-hmm.
outcome on what would come to it. But she answered all of my questions, and my future was clear. It was so promising and so exciting. So ask your questions as a new person coming in and challenge an LTC advisor with your
Mm-hmm.
interest and challenge and
Are,
going and to know.
are we all losing her? Or is it just me?
No, I think we're losing her a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but I totally agree with what she's saying. And the affordability too. You can literally just take one class, see if you like
Mhm.
it. You don't have to enroll. You don't even have to be part-time, full-time. You can take one class, and that's what I love about coming here as well.
I actually
So,
want to follow up
oh yeah,
on
go for
what she was saying. Like how she was saying, just go for it. That sounds just kind of like what happened to me last year.
it. Yeah.
How I got started with LTC. I wasn't planning on going to school at all until like 4 more years later or something like that. And a friend just told me it's like look into it again. Just see what's up. And I'd never been a guy that really just like jumped into something. But for some reason with LTC, I was just like, let me call them up and just see what's going on. It was the easiest thing ever. I thought it was going to be this
Oh,
big
right.
process. And instead, I was just like, oh, I already have a meeting with an advisor. They're like, oh, here's all the programs related to IT stuff. Which one would you like? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's easy. And I wasn't expecting that because I was thinking of like how it was going into school, coming out of high school. And it felt like this huge process.
Mm-hmm.
And with LTC, it's like, you're in, boom, good to go.
Yep.
And I'm just glad I just dove for it and went for it because, man, I'd be so disappointed in myself if I was still just working full time at a job that I didn't really want to be at.
I agree. Awesome. So, unfortunately, we've run out of time for questions from our audience. Looks like we had a lot of fun, though, talking. But before we wrap things up, I'd like to give the panelists one last chance to share what their experience has been at Lakeshore Technical College. So, your total experience. Jordyn.
So for my total experience, actually my interest in going back to school, I went through a really nasty divorce 2 years ago, and earlier in the year, I was going through a very ugly custody battle for my daughter, and with being furloughed from work, I couldn't afford an attorney, so I buckled down, I did the work, I consulted, and that's actually where my love um, and passion for law came into it. It was just, it was almost, I don't want to say an overnight thing because it was 8 months of just complete and utter, a lot of headaches, for lack of better words, but it really just reaffirmed this is what I want to do. And knowing a lot of people that had gone to LTC had amazing things to say, even though it's an hour away from my home, it's just, why not? Talking more about what Matt said, why not? There is no good time. You can try to plan, you can try to push it off. It's just a matter of, if you're not going to do it now, you're never going to do it. If you don't challenge yourself to take that next step, you really don't know what you're capable of. And just like you said, Kalita, even if it's one class, you don't have to commit to classes, at least just get the ball rolling and get it started. So my whole experience between that, going online, and I've met a lot of phenomenal people. I bonded with a lot of my virtual classmates. I've met some of them outside of class. It's just been a very great, close-knit community. You feel that you are somebody, you're gaining a lot of experience, and LTC is truly and 100% pouring everything they can back into their students to make sure that during this time and time to come that, everyone is taken care of and you have exactly what you need to get everything done.
Thank you for that honesty.
Yeah.
You make goosebumps with your story, but I love that because it's just perseverance, and I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, your total experience?
For myself, I had gone through school and it just wasn't working out for me, and I quit, and I was still living with my parents, and I was just working full time, not doing what I wanted to be doing, and I thought that was going to be it. And I just committed and just went for it, and it's been one of the greatest decisions ever. I didn't think this is at all where I'd be even just like a year and a half ago or so. I had no idea, and I'm so happy that I'm here because I've gotten to meet so many more people. I've been able to learn so much more about all my interests and stuff, and just be able to diversify myself, and my skill set has just expanded so much. LTC has just been a huge blessing, and I just don't think a lot of people consider it, but it's really a great opportunity for you to be able to grow and be able to do the things you want to do.
Yep. So thank you, Matt. So my total experience has also been very similar, being a parent, juggling school for myself, helping the kids get through this whole situation. But I would have to say, like you've all mentioned, really connecting with people, really connecting with the staff here. But, we can even develop our little student study groups. I don't know if you guys have this, but on my Blackboard account, I have chat rooms specifically set up for my classmates that we can go in and talk to each other or email or whatever. And I know that that's been really helpful for me, because you don't always want to bother your instructor, but all of my classmates, we're all willing to help each other out. So that's a really great resource there as well. So Michelle, I know you're having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but I think it's all good now,
Are you
right?
able to hear me now?
Yeah.
We hear you now.
No, I totally agree with everybody else as far as their experience on starting at Lakeshore Technical College. I mean, it's been an experience that I will never forget. I kind of kicked myself in the butt a little bit. I should have did it many, many years ago, but it's just, I'll take it as I can, and it's just a life-changing thing. I've been having so much fun being a college student. It's just been remarkable, and to sit there and to kind of brag about it to family and friends, the stuff that you're learning and the stuff that you're getting involved in, it's so eye-opening, and it kind of opens the eyes of other people, maybe it's possible for me too. So, I mean, it's just been an awesome experience.
It's just been fun. I know, I can't say that enough. It's fun. So thanks, Michelle. This concludes today's student panel. Any questions that weren't answered, we'll post them on our Facebook page, and they'll be responded by the end of the week. So this event will be reposted on the Lakeshore Technical College Facebook page for future viewing. And thanks all of you. Thank you guys for participating and everyone who joined us virtually. It was a good time.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. This is great.